Everybody, can you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Abernathy? Absent. Bush? Here. Dauphin?
Here.
Lebec? Here. Mottola?
Here.
O'Connell?
Here.
Rogers? Here. Skolnick?
Here.
Tedford Andrew? Here. Tedford Jim?
Here.
Wendes?
Here.
Winkler? Here. Your Honor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Is there anybody here for Citizens Forum? You can step up to the mic.
I do have some
I
pictures.
need your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Zawinski, and I want to thank you for hearing me tonight. I live at 64 Range Hill Drive, and I've been there for 25 years, raising two boys who are now 22 and 20 as a single mom. I'm here today to speak about an issue that's become a serious concern for my family and others in our community. This is the sales of nitrous oxide, also known as laughing gas and whippets, in our retail stores such as vape shops and gas stations. I believe sales should be banned in Vernon to protect the health and safety of our residents, particularly our youth. I do have some pictures if you'd like to look at those. Are you able to look at those
If you want to
pictures?
leave them, you just got to
Okay.
leave them with the clerk.
So I was shocked to learn that nitrous oxide is being sold in our community, as many of you may right now. It's used as a hallucinogen and as a drug. My son can walk into any of these establishments in our town 24 hours a day and purchase canisters filled with 2,000 grams of nitrous oxide, which is equivalent of 27,000 cans of whipped cream, without anyone questioning him. I hope that gives you pause. As a mother, I'm deeply troubled to know how accessible the dangerous substances in our community, and including how it is to my son. Like many young people, my son learned about nitrous oxide through social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Instead of celebrating his successes and achievements as a mother, I'm navigating the judicial system with my son, dealing with situations related to taking away his nitrous oxide tanks. We now have docket numbers in Rockville Superior Court because of this circumstance. This is not the path I envisioned for my son, and I want to prevent this for families experiencing the same pain and struggle. The emotional strain has been overwhelming, as you can tell, and I know that the holidays won't be the same as our family is now splintered. What should be a time of togetherness is now marked by anxiety and fear and uncertainty. This issue has a rippled effect that goes far beyond one incident, and it affects our relationships, our emotional well-being, and the entire dynamic of our family. I don't want any other families to have to experience this heartache and disruption. We all know that nitrous oxide as a drug, when misused, can be extremely dangerous. Inhaling it for recreational purpose can cause brain damage, loss of consciousness, and even death from suffocation. These are not just abstract risks, they are real dangers. The fact that the substance is available in no real regulation is terrifying, and I pray that my son makes it through. I am here today asking for action, not just to protect my son, but to protect our community from the dangers of nitrous oxide. Some may argue that these retail stores are simply selling nitrous oxide for legitimate purposes such as whipped cream and baking or culinary uses. While it is true that nitrous oxide can be used in cooking, there is vast differences in the quantities involved. The amount being sold in our retail establishments, vape shops, local gas stations, are far beyond what is needed for culinary use and clearly a recreational misuse. While nitrous oxide is regulated in the state, Connecticut General Status Section 21A-245, which prohibits its sale for recreational use. Enforcement of these laws is clearly difficult in retail settings. This law is intended to prevent misuse and restrict its sale to only legitimate lawful uses, but clearly this is not the case since this is being sold in places without proper oversight. This loophole allows dangerous access to our youth, are buying it and are facing are unchecked and without limitations. Connecticut's existing legislation is a good start, but the issue remains that enforcement is not always effective, as we can see right now here in our community. This is why I'm advocating for stronger, more localized measures in Vernon to limit the sale of nitrous oxide in retail stores to protect our children and families. Last night I spoke with Mr. Mago, the principal of Rockville High, and Mr. Caruso, the principal of Vernon Center Middle School. Both were shocked to learn that nitrous oxide is sold in our community. They had no idea this was happening, and both expressed their full support of a ban of sales in our retail stores. They have signed a petition along with concerned community members, all of whom want to protect our community from this dangerous substance. We are not alone in recognizing the dangers of nitrous oxides. Other communities across our country and around the world have already taken action to protect their residents. In Louisiana, nitrous oxide sales were banned in retail stores without opposition and with a unanimous bipartisan vote. The same is true in Manhattan, Illinois, where the town council passed a ban.
I need you to wrap
with
up.
Full support and no partisan divides. So you can see that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So the action that I'm asking is I urge the town council to consider an ordinance banning the sales of nitrous oxide in all retail stores in Vernon. This is not just a policy decision, a matter of protecting our children and our families and our future communities. I appreciate your support.
Do you have a copy you can leave? Or we can make a copy of that,
Of what I just wrote?
what you just read?
I will, and along with the pictures.
If you can. Thank you. Janara, are you coming up?
How y'all doing? My name's Gennaro. I don't really have an address yet, but I'll get one soon. But I do stay here in Vernon, somewhere around here behind a Superior Court where I could park and find me a nice shelter, maybe, you know, something warm. But listen, I've been through rougher than that, okay? Please. But anyway, I come here today to back this sister up that was just here. She showed me a lot of documents and stuff like that about that whipping. I remember when I used to whip back then, you know, and it does make you a little woozy. Doesn't make you know what you're doing, but I support her 100 times. I told her at the restaurant that if she wants to sign a petition, she could start a petition.